So, who have we got to talk to today? Me on the far left-hand side. I'm Karl, as I said. I'm CIO at Synaptek. We've also got Thomas from Adaptavist. He runs the Birmingham Slack Chapter. We've got Jordan Egan from Workato and Juweria from Synaptek as well. Say hello, folks. Cool. So the first thing I'm going to do is stop talking and hand you over to Thomas, who's going to present all about Workflow Builder. Thomas, over to you.
Okay, so that's going to be my presentation for today, how to automate routine processes in Slack with Workflow Builder and power up your workflows with some handy little apps. So my name is Thomas. I appreciate when people make the effort to call me Thomas, but after 7 years in the UK, it's a fight I stopped fighting, to be honest. So I don't mind, you can call me either way. I know my accent's a bit thick, so if there's something you don't understand, or if I speak too fast or whatever, I won't be offended if you ask me to repeat or rephrase. So yeah, just shout. So I'm going to tell you today about, well, start talking about routine. Because when we talk about routine, you have some people who hate it because it makes them feel bored and unchallenged, but you've also got some people who love it because it makes them feel safe and reassured. But if you actually ask people, they would expect a mix of both. So both being challenged every once in a while, but also having the comfort zone sometimes. So there's, in everybody's day-to-day job, there's an element of routine. And as an example, I can imagine that it's likely that every single one of you has ever interacted with tickets or has got a Monday morning meeting with their whole team, or whenever you want to book time off for holiday or because you're homesick, you also need to follow a process. So actually, I'd like to ask you for a little show of hands. So if in your day-to-day job you've got an element of routine, would you mind please responding with the right hand emoji in the chat on the right-hand side? Yeah, so I would imagine that there's an element of that for most people, yeah? So yeah, this is what I'm going to talk about today. So I'm going to tell you about the Workflow Builder feature that's available by default in Slack. So you might not be aware of it, but there's this feature built in the Slack piece of software to be able to handle workflows. And yeah, so that's the agenda for today. So I'm going to start with a quick demo of what the Workflow Builder is. Then I'm going to review the main points of what everyone should know about it, like what's there to know about its main features, its limitations, and what you can power up with it. And then I'm going to demo quickly how you can expand Workflow Builder with add-ons. So that's what Slack calls Workflow Steps for Apps. So at the end of this demonstration, I don't expect everyone to be like the proper master of Workflow Builder, but I hope you feel comfortable exploring the feature and trying new stuff out with it. So yeah, that you'll be comfortable exploring at least. So I'm going to start with fast, easy, and automated, the Workflow Builder. So it's available straight from the app for everyone. So just 1 second. So first, just let me explain quickly what's a workflow. So a workflow takes a process that's typically tedious, for example, making or receiving a request, and it streamlines it for you in real time. So it can happen directly in Slack, in the channels where you're already having conversation. And with workflows, you'll be able to spend less time coordinating and more time doing the work that's the most important to you. So for example, you can build a workflow to share the information that's the most important to know whenever people join a channel to help them get up to speed with the project faster, for example. Or you can build a workflow that automatically captures and organizes the key information, like a help request, for example, to cut down on back and forth messages. So I'm going to give you a quick demo to show you how that works. Okay, so one standard example of what you could do with a workflow would be whenever you need to organize a travel request. So I'm calling you from my office today. So I came to the office in London. I'm lucky to live in London, but imagine I lived elsewhere outside, I would have requested my company to organize a trip. So what I could do directly, if workflows did not exist, would get into the travel request channel, and maybe I could just message the people working there from the admin team to tell them, oh, I'm going to go to the office tomorrow and I need you to book my train or to organize for accommodation, whatever. But then maybe when I send them this message, I might forget to tell them what's the reason for that. Has it been approved by a manager and all these things. So thanks to Workflow Builder, I built one workflow here that's called travel request. So now whenever I click it, I get this form open. So it's asking me, what team are you on? So I work in the marketing team. Who is your manager? So my manager's name is Chirag. Has your manager already approved your travel? Yes. Where are you traveling? When are you traveling? Well, it was today. What's the business reason necessitating travel? Slack chapter. All right, so I've just submitted it. I get a confirmation message, and then it's very convenient for people in my team who are going to organize the travel request because they have already collected all of the information. They don't need to ask me back and forth every single item I might have forgotten to tell them about. So that's one example of what you can do with the workflow. So something else that's pretty convenient with the workflow. So if you're not sure if your teammates are going to be aware that this exists, whenever they join the travel request channel, you could imagine welcoming them with a message to explain you need to click on this Thunderbolt icon to trigger the workflow. So I already prepared that message in my drafts here. So I'm going to, I want to send this message, so welcome to this channel, and send this personalized message to anyone who joins the channel to tell them how the process works. So if I want to create a new workflow, Workflow Builder is available from the Slack menu. In Tools, there's Workflow Builder there. If you check on your own Slack, it's going to be available straight from there as well. So when I click it, I'm in the Workflow Builder here. So here's a list of the existing workflows in my workspace. And if I'm not sure where to start, there's also a list of templates available straight from there, which I can elaborate on. So I'm going to create a new workflow. I'm going to give it a name. So travel welcome message. I want to trigger it whenever there's a new channel member in my channel called travel requests. Next. So that's how my workflow is triggered. And then I can add next steps. So my next and only step I want really is to send the newcomer a message. So I click the next step. Now I'm going to click send the message, add. So I want to send the message to the channel that was joined. And that was my message I copied earlier. So I can also personalize it. So rather than welcome to channel, I can actually insert a variable here to say welcome to the channel that was joined. I can send that message specifically to the person who joined the channel. I can see here a preview of what my message is going to look like. All right. And basically, that's all I want. So I could also imagine having a custom icon for my workflow there. I'm not going to spend time on that, but once I'm happy with it, I can publish it. All right. So this was done. So Slackbot is telling me that my travel request, yeah, it's telling me here that my workflow has been added. And now if I leave the channel and join it again, I should be greeted with the welcome message. So I'm just going to check travel requests. It's there. Join. And yeah, I'm greeted with the message with the workflow I just configured. So welcome to this channel, Thomas. So that's worked the way I expected. All good. All right. So next, back up onto the presentation. So yeah, I just did the demo. So I did one quick overview of onboarding message. So yeah, you can onboard people onto channels with a welcome message like that. And I showed you as well what the travel request looks like. Actually, let me show you just quickly what the travel request workflow looks like, just so you get the gist of it. So that's my travel request. So this one's a bit more elaborate, as you might have seen. So it's triggered from the shortcut in travel request with the Thunderbolt. It's going to open a form asking the people these questions and then sending this confirmation message to the channel. All right. So what's important to know about it? Can you get super excited about it and jump straight in? So first off, is the workflow builder free? Yes and no. So it is free and completely available, fully featured, but only on paid Slack plans. So if you're on the free Slack plan, the one with the limited number of messages, I think it's the one with 10K messages in your whole workspace, then the workflow builder won't be available, sadly. However, on any other plan, it's available by default at no extra cost at all. So then are the possibilities endless? So endless might be a bit of an overstatement, to be honest, but there's a lot of things you can do with it. Especially you can expand its features with workflow steps for apps. I'm going to demo that in a minute. You can trigger it with different ways. So you can trigger it with people joining a channel, with a regular trigger. For example, you could decide every Monday morning at 9 in the morning, I want to send a message to the channel to say, everyone, hey, good morning. I hope you had a good weekend. Please give me an update on the work you plan on doing this week. And yeah, so that's a few examples. Some things you can't do with it though. You can't have conditional branching as of today. So it's only linear workflows and you can't ask people to decide this or that and then have a different outcome unless you decide to create several workflows. Also, a workflow only belongs to one channel at a time. So it can be a bit annoying sometimes if you want to be able to create workflows dynamically. However, Slack is working on expanding the feature, so it's still a powerful tool. Can you connect Workflow Builder to other services? Yes, you can. So for the triggers, you can actually trigger it with webhooks. So basically, any of your apps that's got a web service option, you can use it to trigger a workflow in Slack. And you can also expand it with the workflow steps for apps. And I'm going to give you a quick demo of what you can do with Google Sheets. And then I'm also going to give you a demo for Jira. So with Google, yeah, I'm just conscious of the time as well. So with Google Sheets, actually, so I was showing you here that I created my travel requests. And if I look up my workflow in Workflow Builder here, so it was my travel request workflow, I've got one special step here that's already linked to Google Sheets to add a spreadsheet row. So looking up at my spreadsheet, where did I put it? So, yeah, my spreadsheet is there. So if I refresh, yeah, so the requests I created earlier. So I was the requester. I said, that's my team. I was going to travel to Central London today for the Slack chapter. It's been automatically added to my Google spreadsheet thanks to my step in my workflow there. So it's possible to learn more about Slack Workflow Builder from slack.com/workflowautomation. And if you get onto slackcertified.com, there's also a free course, online e-learning thingy for you to become the next workflow builder expert. So this is completely free. And if you're interested in the feature and you've got half a day ahead of you, I really recommend going through it because it's quite insightful. It's for free and you get this tiny badge you can expose on your LinkedIn once you're done. Yeah. So now an example of workflow steps for apps. So you can power up your Slack workflows with app steps. So for example, I'm going to give you another demo. So this is the last one, I swear, for bug reports. So imagine you're working on bugs. So whenever people raise a bug, you have the same option to do like I showed you just before with the form in Workflow Builder. But maybe your IT support team is more used to working from Jira directly rather than from Slack, because in Jira, you can actually transition the bug itself within its own workflow in Jira. So this can be convenient. So I already configured the bug workflow here. So I can here create a bug report from my bug reports channel. So my summary, so for the bug would be, there's a fly in my soup. All right, that's my bug report. I just created it. So yeah, I'm just getting confirmation here that my bug was created. So the issue key is bug 3. That's a fly in my soup, description fly in soup, and it's unassigned. And if I click my link here on my Jira, I can see, so the report term is admin by default. It was created just now with the information I filled in my form in Workflow Builder. Another example I have, if I want to do that, and also do it directly with a message in Slack. Here's my message. I configured another workflow already. So if I react with a bug, it's going to tell me same. So with a bug emoji this time, not with a shortcut. Here, my issue was also created. The workflow is slightly different here. So my issue summary is the message I wrote in Slack, and it works exactly the same otherwise. Okay, so with this app, you can sync custom fields like Jira custom field with it. User permissions are passed on. You also got specific workflow templates, and our app is free. So yeah, sorry, it's a shameless advertisement, but this is the app we've been working on. Okay, so I covered all 3 items, what the workflow builder is, what's important to know about it, how you can expand it with steps for apps, with the example of Google Sheets and workflow steps for Jira. Just very quickly, so I work for a company called Adaptavist. We do solutions and professional Slack services and Slack apps, and you can learn more about us on adaptavist.com. I'm running a bit short of time, but yeah, if you've got questions, just feel free to shoot in the chat, or I think there's a bit of time for Q&A at the end. So yeah, thank you very much for your time, and good luck for the next presentation. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. I'm glad I got you in to present that, because I think you actually did a far better job of it than I could have ever done. So thank you very much. Also, second the online learning. I actually did the Workflow Builder certified badge myself this week, and it is really good and really accessible. So you don't need to be, you know, the next Terminator to code workflow at all. In fact, it's a no-code solution, and you can just pick it up and run with it. And in fact, one of the things we do with it internally, we will actually create something in Workflow Builder as a bit of a talking point, and then we'll edit it and make it right and send it around the team, and then send it live when we're happy with the outcome. So yeah, thank you very much.
Cool, thank you.
Okay, so next up we have Jordan from Workato. He's going to talk to us about what if Workflow Builder is not quite complicated enough. And what I mean by complicated is, or I should say complex enough. If you've got more, if you've got 25 systems you need to do workflow across, what can you do? Jordan, over to you.
Perfect. Thanks, Karl. Appreciate that. Well done, Thomas. Thank you for that excellent presentation. Just want to check, can you see my screen? So maybe can someone give me a thumbs up in the chat? That would be fantastic. Thank you, Olivia. Thank you. Perfect. So look, just to introduce myself, if anyone wasn't here at the start, my name is Jordan Egan. I'm an account executive on our commercial team at Workato. And my job is to support our customers and help scale and grow our business within the UK and Ireland. As you might have guessed from my accent, I am Irish and I'm based in Dublin. So it's great to see so many people from all over the UK and I here today. So today I'm just going to run you through a bit of a background about Workato, who we are, and then I'm going to touch on Workbots and Workbox for Slack, and I'll give you some use cases. So that's the agenda for today. So Karl, I see you've posted an Ivory Coast flag and not an Irish flag, but it was close, to be fair, it was close.
Pretty similar.
No worries at all, guys. So just to give you a bit of background on Workato. So Workato are an integration and automation platform. So to take a step back, the founding team of Workato, they built the first integration platform at TIBCO, and then they moved on to Oracle to help build out Fusion middleware. So, you know, really they've been kind of pioneers in this space from day one. But what they found is that these tools, they weren't built for modern day SaaS solutions, and they weren't designed for business and IT users to integrate and automate quickly. So if a company is scaling and wants to integrate and automate quickly, it would just take too much time, effort, and resources. So Workato was founded and created in 2013 and was built as one platform for integration and automation. And it was designed to support IT and business users in a low-code, easy-to-use user experience. The Workato platform has a focus on simplicity, but it also is extremely powerful and it can handle enterprise-grade use cases. So Workato can support integration and automation at scale throughout an organization, but today we're going to focus on our engagement via bots in Slack or Workbot. I see, Karl, you got it done the second time. Well done. Appreciate that.
I've learned something new today.
Perfect. So just a bit of an overview on Workato again. We're one of the fastest growing integration automation platforms. We are recognized as a market leader within this space. Recognized by Gartner, Forrester Wave, G2 Crowd. We've over 7,000 customers and growing worldwide. Within our platform, we have over 1,200 pre-built connectors for applications and over 500,000 different community automations for our customers to leverage within the platform. To give you an idea of some of our high growth and global brand customers, there's plenty of logos and companies here that you will recognize. To dig a bit deeper into one specifically, one you'll probably recognize is Slack themselves, our Workato customer. And they use Workato for over, I think, 1,000 different automations internally within their business. So to focus on maybe some use cases, quote to cash to fulfillment, streamline hiring to onboarding, target campaigns using behavioral data. And they also use our Workbot solution for deals, expenses, and PTO, which I'm actually just going to touch on a little bit more detail. So here you can see a little bit of a snapshot of the Workbot they have within their Slack. So they use it for approvals, so the bot can push messages to the right approval, the managers, whatever needed for either be for deals or quotes from maybe a CRM like Salesforce, expenses, PTO, whichever it may be. The impacts they've seen is they've over 98% orders processed in less than 5 minutes, 4 times faster customer deals approvals, and then most importantly, they have a happier sales and finance team. So that's just a nice example of how Slack themselves are actually using our Workbot and Workato. So what is a Workbot? So Workbot for Slack is a Workato chatbot that helps you monitor and interact with your business apps from within Slack. So companies today use tens, if not hundreds of different business apps, but the majority of the employees spend most of their time in Slack. I know I do anyway. But anytime an employee needs to update a status of an opportunity, they jump over to the CRM like Salesforce and they update it. Or if they want to request an annual leave or personal time off, they would jump over to a tool like Workday or Namely. Or if they wanted to submit a help desk request, then they would jump over to a tool like ServiceNow or Jira, whichever it may be. So by hopping to the different applications, you're losing so much time and efficiency. And I know I've been there before myself. In my previous role, my problem was when I jumped over to a different tab or window, I would then get sidetracked and fall down a rabbit hole and then doing a different task altogether. And I completely just kind of lose track of what I was supposed to be doing. I'm sure many people can resonate with that one. So Workbot for Slack makes how you get your work done simpler, faster, more efficient, and faster. It's a new way of working. So Workbot helps you bring your day-to-day work into Slack and eliminate that app hopping. As I kind of mentioned, we spend the majority of our time in tools like Slack. So using a tool like Workbot, it brings the work to you and not make sure you don't have to go to the work, if that makes sense. So to give you an example of some Workbots, these are all actual examples of Workbots we use internally with Workato. We have ones for finance, HR, customer success teams. Probably some in my role that I use most frequently would be Deals Insight Bot with Workato, or Sales Intelligence Bot. So if I have a new call with a new prospect, let's say, from an inbound lead, Sales Intelligence Bot will push me a load of information, or all the relevant information that I need to know. You can also be very creative with the bots you create. You know, for example, Birthday Bot. This notifies me of all my teammates when they have an upcoming birthday, and they prompt me to send them a message. You know, there's nothing worse when you forget, and particularly maybe when you're back in the office, nothing worse than forgetting someone's birthday. So this kind of keeps everyone on track. Also, you can get clever, like Decision Bot. There's a simple bot to kind of help you flip a coin or roll a dice. A good example, actually, I worked with a customer recently, and we helped them create what they called a wellness bot. They were very concerned about their wellness of some of their employees, particularly there's field service engineers that were out on the road, and they would be spending in rural areas, and they'd be spending maybe days, if not weeks, you know, working on their own, and they were concerned about their well-being. So they created a wellness bot, and what that did is it messages them on Slack every morning and asked them a few simple questions of, you know, how they are, and you know, and a few simple questions, maybe like a scale of 1 to 5, how are they feeling? And depending on how they answered the questions, you know, if they weren't feeling great or not feeling their best, that could prompt their manager, or their HR director to set up a meeting, or, you know, reach out to that person. So this is a really clever initiative this company took to, you know, for the well-being of their employees and their mental health during these kind of difficult times. So just to kind of focus on one in particular, one internal one, I want to focus on Firefighter Bot. So Firefighter Bot is a bot I use internally. It's my go-to if I need anything. This is an actual screenshot of my Slack. And I joined Workato a couple of months ago. So if there's any tool or application I feel that I needed, what I can do is I can go to a Firefighter Bot. I can click on, you know, the button that maybe is for requesting apps or a new phone number or whichever it may be. So for the example I'm going to give today this is an actual real life example that that happened a couple of weeks ago, and I was requesting an application. So I clicked on request for app, and a little box pops up, and it just gives me a few fields to fill out. The beneficiary, it was myself, the provision date, you know, I put today's date, the app that maybe I needed, and then just a little comment box that I would send to whoever's going to approve this. So once I submitted this, Firefighter Bot notified me, okay, that my submit has been, you know, I've submitted my request to my hiring manager or my line manager, and they'll keep me posted if there's any updates along the way. And if I want to I can push a little nudge if it goes a little bit quiet, and gives me all the relevant information. So thankfully, my manager did approve it, and then Firefighter notified me that, you know, it's been approved, and then the app has been provisioned, and the login details will be sent to my email. So this is just a clever little example of how all this can be done within Slack. I didn't need to email and jump over to my email my manager, explain what I'm looking for, get them to email me back, take that email, raise a ticket, you know, within the help desk or IT team, and then get them to approve it and provision it. It was all done within a few clicks within Slack itself. So this is just to highlight a very kind of simple but very effective use case that we use on a daily basis. I have some good examples coming through here of bots on the chat. Very good. I think Karl might give a bit of, if you put that in the Slack channel, I believe, you might be up for grabs for a bit of swag, Slack swag. Perfectly. I'm just going to have a very small video clip, and this is just from a video from an event that we ran recently. And it's from one of our actual customers, and the customer is Grab. So Grab are a transport and delivery company based in Asia. And it's from the CIO, and he just talks about how they're leveraging Workbot across the organization. Now, I've only clipped the video, so it's only like maybe 30, 40 seconds long. Do let me know if you can't hear this on the chat.
We were very disjointed. We have multiple platforms, multiple apps, a series of different platforms. And right now I have my grabbers that to execute tasks, each one of them needs to go to these backends. And the sense of efficiency, it was getting lost because simple things like requesting leave, going through the backend platform will take me almost like 35 to 38 clicks. before I could actually get into it and say, I want leave. And then for my manager, it will take another 15 to 20 clicks to approve. And probably I was already taking my leave before it was even approved. We already have been using Workato for certain things, but then you start to go deeper and deeper in looking at Workato. We start to develop a better partnership in the sense of how we could really exploit this orchestration layer. We conduct our business through Slack. And it's not just from the perspective of comms. It's from the perspective of sharing. It's from the perspective of creating environments in which there is a lot of tasks and things that are taking place from the engineering, from finances, from HR. We have created a bunch of different bots that have automized a lot of the processes of things that we needed to do manually in the past. That has been really a big change for us. The whole concept of the super app is not something that is going to stop. It's something that's going to keep evolving. And as we start to push more and more to these back office operations through Workato and through Slack, that's bringing a lot of productivity for us. One of the things that we have.
Perfect. I see a lot of great ideas coming through. Flags bot, Karl, big fan of that one. Let's look into that one. Perfect. So look, guys, I just wanted to give you just a small snippet of a video of hearing from one of our customers and how they're leveraging it. So I'm actually going to pass the mic over to Juweria, who's going to run you through a demonstration now. So thanks very much.
Hi. Yeah. Let me just quickly share my screen. I don't have that many slides because so could you all see my screen? Fine. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. All right, I'll begin. So beyond Workflow Builder, so we use Workbot for Slack for our customers, and it allows us to integrate more third app applications. Also, we are able to develop complex workflows. An example that we had for one of our customers was the Levers bot, and it was to help create a return for assets. And there were two options, whether to pick up a pickup collection with a courier or to drop off devices at a location or an office. And the reason why this use case was needed was because of the times we're in at the moment and hybrid working. It would make things a lot more easier for everyone. So I have recorded my demo. So I'll just make this a bit larger for you all, and I'll stop it and kind of explain what I did. So from the shortcuts, you could create a return, and from there you could choose an option. So it gives you both options, pick up collection or a drop off appointment. And so in this instance, a pickup collection was chosen. After that, it would ask the user what is their preferred time slot, and this could be taken from the third-party courier through an API, and this could all be configured in Workato. As when they've selected it, I've chosen 64Z Lane as the address for this user. So this information could be taken from Oracle, for example. That's another application that could be integrated with the Workato, and so this would be taken in. So this would ask by the user if this is the address they wanted to collect it from. Yes, they've confirmed. Also, another issue that the customer's having was that they would ask the user if they would need a box. And so you could include this again in the app. And so this user said no, and it will send a message saying, thank you for scheduling your pickup collection. So in this instance, another thing you could do is you could include a step in the Workato recipe. And in that step, you could send a confirmation email to the line manager, for instance, to say, so-and-so has created a return and has asked to be the device to be picked up. And the second option is, if I can open it up again, it's the drop-off appointment. So in this instance, if I just click Again, it will be from a shortcut. This could be from anywhere, so whether it's in a channel or from the user's place. So create, return, again, drop off appointment, submit. This would go off, and it will, if I can, it would say, please choose a preferred slot to drop off your devices. And the user would choose the time that's available. Again, this could be taken, this information could be taken from an ITSM tool, for instance, ServiceNow. So yeah, and then the second, it will bring in all the locations, and it will give a confirmation back to the user to say that they have booked a slot. Ooh, if I can click the screen, that is super clear. Yeah, there. To book a slot Monday and to drop it off at that location. Again, this could be sent as a confirmation to the user, whether using Outlook or Gmail as well, just for extras. And that's the demo that I've created. It's very short. Yeah, and I'll pass it back to Karl. Thank you.
Juweria, thank you very much. That was awesome, and Jordan, likewise. I'm not going to put the slides back up because I can't see anything when I do that. But what we'd like to do now with the sort of 5 minutes we've got left is open the floor to any questions to any of today's panelists. So those of you who are still with us, thank you for being with us still. Head to the chat and ask away. Open season, and we will do our best to answer the questions that you have. And if there are no questions, we'll just chill for 5. First one. Thomas, what Workbot has saved you the most time in your day? Good question. He's back.
Good question. I think in general, whenever we need to open a ticket, it's quite convenient to have the form available. Like, to be honest, when I need to do like a holiday request, for example, I use directly. So we use Bamboo HR instead. I guess we could use Slack instead, but no. But like in general, I find that yes, filling the thing is quite convenient. We've got our team lead who's asking every Monday morning for an update on our top 3 priorities for the week. And so initially, she actually used to send a message every Monday morning, like whenever she thought about it. And now it's been automated, and people just reply in thread. I've seen examples of people in DevOps team using it, in data teams, all sorts of different teams. So yeah, there's quite a few examples. But
thank you. I think for me, it's the same. We have a weekly update that the team complete. And what used to happen with that update is I'd get everything from immense technical detail, every single comma on a piece of code that had been changed that week, right the way through to I did a thing. And as a result, trying to make those updates consistent was a real challenge because everybody thinks different things are important. So we actually use Workflow Builder to create a Friday update bot so that our updates are consistent. I know what I need to know, the team knows what's expected of them, and it saves us probably, or saves me, the best part of half a day, which is nuts if you think about it. Jordan, what about yourself? Any examples you want to share?
Yeah, absolutely. So ones I probably touched on were the sales intelligence bots. So they've kind of pushed me relevant information that I need to know for any kind of prospect that I'm speaking with. Another one is forecast bot. If anyone here is in sales that needs to forecast regularly, the bot reaches out to me, pushes me a message weekly at the same time, because I always forget and I always get in trouble with my manager. So thankfully that has really helped me stay on top of that. So yeah, a few little ones there.
Nice one. Thank you very much. I'll go for another question. Daniel, to answer your question, I don't know is the answer. So Daniel's asked, will Slack Workflows ideas page be expanded and searchable in the way that Zapier shows Zaps? So Zapier is another workflow tool that can be used with Slack, just for those of you who don't know. I would imagine so, to be honest with you. I think when you look at the strengths of Slack, and part of the reason we're doing this session today really is because, to me, Slack really sings when everything's integrated with it, because it can then be used as the window into your business. Everything's in one place, makes work more pleasant, and you can spend more time on stuff that matters. So I can only imagine that This is only going to get built out better in the future, to use a Boris Johnson phrase. I can imagine Workflow Builder is going to become an absolute behemoth in the next few years. Next question. Auditing and reporting capabilities available for approval of app accounts and permissions granted. As a Workato question for you, Jordan.
Yep. So we can audit and report all the actions performed using the Workbot. You can even invoke external apps and report systems and database using Workato all along the entire workflow.
Nice, thank you very much. Have you found solutions that allow for rich text input in the form? Scenario, workflow request for legal document amendment. I assume, Craig, you're talking about Workflow Builder in this example?
Yeah, I thought about it. I don't think it's possible, like the way Workflow Builder is built in. I'm actually wondering if it was not possible with the app workflow steps for Jira, because we've got one step that's extracting Slack message content. I have not tried it out, so I would need to try to test it out to see. If you've got 5 minutes, we've got 9 more minutes until the end of the event. I can look at it and maybe it's an option, but otherwise I'm not aware of any possibility to do that.
Sure, thank you. And I think I know the answer to this, Jordan. I think you could do rich text stuff if you use Workato, couldn't you? You're on mute, mate. Oh no, he's gone.
I was on mute there. Yeah, I agree. I can double check those as well for you. No problem.
Thank you very much. That's it for questions, I think. I haven't missed any. I have just been reminded, and again, we've pinned it to the top of this channel. Please join the Slack community workspace. Not because I'm really sad and just want people to talk to, but I'd really like to get the community going. I would like your ideas, one, on workflows to try and win the competition, but two, we'd love to know what you want to do next. This is your community, not mine. So what is it you would like us to cover in our next community event? What would be really useful to you? Yeah, we're not going to do favourite flag, Mitchell. I'm never going to live that down now. I'm going to be sent to Ivory Coast flags all day by everybody I know. Thanks. Oh, and Neve's just shared a better link as well. Thank you very much for that, Neve. Okay, I think we'll wrap up and give everybody 5 minutes of the day back. Thank you very much, everybody, for our speakers, and thank you very much for our audience and the community for attending today. Like I said, please do provide your feedback. If you thought it was great, let us know. If you thought it was terrible, let us know. And if you'd like us to cover something different, let us know. Thank you all for your time, and thank you very much to our presenters and the time you put in for today. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thanks. Have a good day.